About to get underway then, Vélez Sarsfield to kick off in this first half, playing from right to left. The home side looking to build up an advantage to take to São Paulo. Colombian official Jose Torres just checking with the linesman. Away we go then. Vélez Sarsfield against São Paulo in the Copa Libertadores final first leg. Well, two highly exciting semi-final second legs last week that both went to penalties. Unlike in European competitions and in the World Cup, there was no extra time before the penalty shootout. And so both had that dramatic ending. It's the ticker tape that has speckled its way onto the pitch on the near side touchline and behind the goal. And I would think with the substantial breeze that's in the ground that'll be gradually faded away, but it did bring back memories of when Argentina took the field in Buenos Aires against Holland in that '78 World Cup final, because it was a very similar welcome, and certainly that blue and white flag over on the far side is as big as I've ever seen. Be very interesting to see how the Brazilians settle here. 80s Cafu, one of the big stars, 35 times capped by Brazil, only 3 times in the World Cup final, all as substitute against the USA, Holland, and in the final. Picking out one or two of the others to watch for São Paulo. Number 9, Palinha, number 7, Muller. Number 11 is Euler, who got the goals that denied Palmeiras a place in the last 8. That was a tremendous clash of styles between two of the bigger Brazilian sides. There is Euler, and there is the Vélez Sarsfield's coach, Carlos Bianchi. Muller with a second touch. It should be easy, it is for Chilavert. Well, São Paulo have a reputation of being slightly slower starters in away matches. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt here. Buenos Aires very much more of a European style cultural city than maybe São Paulo is. But I mean, the rivalry between these two clubs, or any clash between Brazil and Argentina, should be enough to spark off plenty of interest. Pompey plays the ball inside, but there were 4 São Paulo jerseys there, ready to adhere to any potential trouble. That's Cafu playing on the right, and there's the bench for Vélez Sarsfield. Claudio Hussein and Fabian Fernandes, 2 of the players used in that game against Junior Barranquilla. It was Paraguayan opponents who São Paulo knocked out in the semis. Now there's 2 in the centre. Flores made a good run, and so did Omar Azad. But in the end, São Paulo were able to blend their way out of trouble there. Here's the important Marcelo Gomes. 7 is Bacedas, who scored a goal in that second leg last week. They're playing a patient game. They made a great start last week. Remember, they got 2 early goals. And then Valenciano pulled one back, and we had an hour's worth of tension as the aggregate scores remain the same. São Paulo, on the other hand, led and will pull back to 1-1. There's their substitutes, the Brazilians, Bordan, Rogério, Junio, And Tele Santana, who joined the club in 1990, of course involved with the Brazilian national side in the World Cups in '82 in Spain and '86 in Mexico. Gomez, lost out this time. A slightly disjointed first 5 minutes with naturally both sides anxious to settle as quickly as possible. Zandona, he wears 11, but don't be deceived by that. He's actually playing as a attacking right winger. Andre, and he got away with it, kept it in. Now there's 2 up, but that was a good cover challenge coming in. Very important, and Andre, although he gained 10 yards. This is Muller, and a poor cross. Far too close to Chilabert. Muller, who had a spell at Torino. Very nearly joined English club Tottenham Hotspur, and has apparently still unsettled at São Paulo, despite the fact that they've reached the final of the Copa Libertadores. Now they break again, and can he get a better quality cross in this time? And he decides to go with a second option. They've not got the passes going yet, the Brazilians. 7 minutes played. It's Vélez Sarsfield 0, São Paulo 0 in the first leg of the Copa Libertadores final. Flores has been penalised. Junior Baiano for São Paulo. Now Vélez Sarsfield on the break. That's a good-looking cross, but it didn't turn into anything from Pompey. Bacedas beaten to it. Now, can they break again? This is Flores, and it was a fine ball through. The first chance of the match, and it's good defending on the 6-yard line that denies Vélez Sarsfield an opening there, but the warning signs are made to the world champions. As the extra man in the centre was playing them onside, and then in the end he stuck a foot out and saved them. 17 Flores then had the initial shot. It came off Vitor, and it was fine play from Valber in the end, who denied Gomez surely a goal-scoring opportunity. Well, that will encourage Carlos Bianchi and Vélez Sarsfield to try and come again. Always a lot of tension, and as the trainer went on record as saying last week, the first leg you can't win the Copa Libertadores, but you can lose it. And that's very appropriate, and possibly one of the reasons why we might have a tight match. But last year, São Paulo won 5-1 in their first leg, so the theory doesn't always come to fruition. Bacedas, and he gets the return, and still Bacedas. Well, Basualdo there played a fine ball into him, and Bacedas, who scored against Junior Balaquia last week, very nearly got a second opportunity, but he mishit the shot. There's Bacedas again. 9 played, and Vélez Sarsfield from Buenos Aires have made the better start, one feels. Well, this city is a hotbed of football, there's no doubt about that. They've got so many great clubs who have the tradition of reaching this Copa Libertadores final as they come and attack again, and it goes out of play for the first quarter of the match. And Muller comes back to defend. 4 there is Junior Biano. Haven't seen so much of Sotomayor so far, but it's Pompey to take the corner, and it's a second useful in-swinging corner to the near post, putting a lot of pressure on Junior Biano. And he was hugging the near post, and he had to as well. And you don't see too many goals scored direct from corners. I remember Steve Staunton scoring an important goal for the Republic of Ireland against Northern Ireland in the World Cup qualifying match direct from a corner, but there haven't been that many at a very high level. As São Paulo gain a few yards but give away the throw, and the captain leaves over responsibility to Flavio Zandona. He plays on the right, formerly with Estudiantes, but has certainly been used in a much more attacking role than one might have imagined. This is Andre for São Paulo, and they've won another free kick. Now Telly Santala's side want to try and take advantage of these set-piece opportunities. Gilbert marking in. There's Muller, number 7. Paulinha. Ulla, number 11, is also making a run. 13 is Gilmar. He's come up from the back. Slightly better in the corner than a free kick. The two-man wall. It's floated in, but the flag goes up, and that won't count. And the linesman flagging Muller offside as he heads it nonchalantly home. The referee clearly up with the play and up with his linesman on the near side. So 12 minutes gone in Buenos Aires. Vélez Sarsfield 0, São Paulo 0 in the first leg of the final of the Copa Libertadores. This time it's a free kick to Vélez Sarsfield, and they've got time here to work out a plan. Baceiras could be involved, but it's more likely to be Pompey or Basualdo. Well, the German, formerly from Stuttgart, now 31 years of age, will mastermind many things as Pompey goes through. It's Basualdo who takes the free kick, floats it in, and there's still a chance here. And it's acrobatically headed up. It's acrobatically pulled over. Well, Omar Azad had the chance out of nothing, really. And when it came to him, he flicked it over, and it wasn't so far away. Scrappy piece of play, really, but when it came to him, well, Baceiras had a better chance. Here's Gomez. And good play. And gets the return. And the cover challenge came in from Axel, but still kept in. Basualdo. And the header comes in. It was a weak one from Pompey, but Vélez Sarsfield are creating many more chances. And here coming in, Pompey with a lot more time, and it was a gentle header. Well, Vélez Sarsfield creating the majority of the chances so far, but we're still awaiting the first goal. Pompey, good tackle. That was great play. Stuck with his man and made no mistake with the challenge. In comes the cross again. It's drifted out of play, and that'll be a goal kick to São Paulo, who we haven't seen too much of in an attacking form yet, apart from that Muller goal that was deemed offside. Carlos Bianchi. Telly Santana there, trying to guide his side into the direction he wants with 15 minutes played. Basualdo slightly overdid it, looking for Azad. Azad trying to find Basualdo again, but he was unable to, and São Paulo break with Cafu. Now 2 in the centre, and the clearance isn't decisive. Well, Vitor went in, but it was Vélez Sarsfield who got away with things. This is Bacedas. Lovely touch from Azad. Bacedas again. Azad makes the run and doesn't keep it in play, but the two of them, Bacedas and Azad, have combined there very well. And Basualdo as well. Those three have really started the game in good form. Muller, free kick to São Paulo. He was looking for Cafu and so nearly developed into a typical Brazilian free-flowing move. They do like to take the free kicks quickly, and at the moment it's Vélez Sarsfield who are controlling midfield. Flores, that's a great ball. Now, bit of space. That was a fine challenge from Valbert. Well, all credit to Valbert there, because Omar Azad was on his way, and Valbert here met this absolutely right. There was a great chance of a penalty, but that's a fabulous challenge. Great defending. So Flores Trotter, the captain's come up. Flores this time floats the corner to the far post. The danger still not averted. This is Zandona. Pompey, little chip, it's over the bar. Once again though, an opportunity, 17 minutes gone, and Pompey at the first chance. It's Azad again, who had the second when it broke to him. And it was a little chip, good idea, but half a yard over. So it's still 0-0. Well, there were 35,000 here last week for this second leg of the semi-final, and it was quite hostile then. But it's a capacity 49,500 tonight for this one, as Muller picks up possession for São Paulo and loses out. Pompey. That's Flores. And the idea was there. Here's the influential Basualdo. Valbert with the clearance. 6 is Andre, with the challenge coming in from Ahmad. In comes the cross. There's 2 waiting. Flores is 1. This is Pompey. Andre away for São Paulo. Good spell for Vélez Sarsfield. Still no goals in the first leg of the Copa Libertadores final. Junior Biaro. Marcel Gomez. Back to Chilavert, whose clearance is just kept in. An uncultured ball downfield. Ule. And the ball drifts out of play. It's still 0-0. Vélez Sarsfield 0, São Paulo 0 after 20 minutes in the Copa Libertadores final first leg in Buenos Aires. A city that's already produced Boca Juniors, River Plate, Argentina Juniors, Independiente, San Lorenzo, racing to have reached the final of this equivalent of the European Champions Cup in South America. And what a fabulous tournament it's turned out to be again this year. Well, Flores brought down, and Junior Piano looks innocent, but he certainly made contact. Had to be a free kick. And Zetti, the Sao Paulo keeper, trying to muster some cohesion amongst the defence. And no real danger from that shot from outside the penalty area. But certainly Pacedas, Pompey, Flores and Basualdo have started the game better. And Tele Santana there to the left must be a little anxious at the moment. The only thing you can draw into the game is that we haven't seen so much of number 6 Sotomayor of Vélez Sarsfield, who has adopted a more defensive role this evening. He's the man, of course, who denied Milan the Italian Championship back in 1990 and gave it to Napoli when Maradona was playing for them, when he scored a vital goal for Verona right at the end of a dramatic season in Italy. So Maradona got his Italian Championship and Sotomayor was the hero. Corner number 3 to Vélez Sarsfield. Now, it caused a few problems with the first one. It's Pompey again who goes over to take it. Now, wonder whether... Yes, Trotter is coming up. And will he go to the near post? He does! Trotter goes in! And it's Junior Piano who had to clear it, but another very useful corner. This is Basualdo. Well, São Paulo, the world champions, the double world champions, the last 2 years, are under a lot of pressure here. Basualdo. It's another good move, and it's a shot that's gone wide. Well, Pompey receiving a ball through from Basualdo, and it was a half chance, really. He took 2 strides and drilled it wide. Great pick-up this from Pompey, and a fine shot from the edge of the penalty area, and it flashed wide. Now, São Paulo, who haven't really had a clear-cut opportunity, finding it very hard to settle. 24 gone. Basualdo has controlled a lot of the midfield for Vélez Sarsfield. São Paulo met Argentine opposition 2 years ago in the Copa Libertadores when they beat Newell's Old Boys. Before that, though, you had to go back to 1984, and prior to that, 77 for an Argentina-Brazil clash. This is the 8th in total, and at the moment it's 4-3 to Argentina. Flores. It's a good run from midfield from Flores. Got support here from Pompey. Flores goes again. Two São Paulo players with the covering, and this is Vitor for São Paulo. Flores, that's a fine ball. Has he got room? Well, Gomez was on the chase, and the São Paulo defence have so far survived all that's been put through to them. Pompey, little chip cross, easy for Zetti this one. But now São Paulo on the break, but they've only got 3 against 5 here, and it's not enough, and it's a poor ball in, and this time Sotomayor has no problem in dealing with it, and he really is the key to the game as far as I'm concerned, because we haven't seen much of him. That means that we haven't seen so much of São Paulo, and I'm sure as the 2 players go down, Ula for São Paulo, we might be having a yellow card here from Jose Torres. We are. Ula goes into the book, and it was very late, and so he may have scored 2 goals and become an instant national hero against Palmeiras. And the referee also booking Gomez of Vélez Sarsfield, so yellow card for them both. And now an opportunity for São Paulo. 27 minutes gone. I'm anxious, Jose Chilavert. These are always dangerous situations, and the drive comes in. It was from Junior Biano. Now the break is on, but there's only one white shirt up, and that was Azad. And he had a hopeless task there against the 3 from São Paulo. Now there's a late challenge, this time on Vitor from Cardozo. Well, the game going through a sterile patch at the moment, but take nothing away from the fact that this is a huge match for both sides. Of course, they can represent the continent of South America in Japan in the World Championship final. And still the man's down. Now, is there a break on here? Well, it was good defending once again, the cover from Valbert. Vélez Sarsfield 0, São Paulo 0 in Argentina. Second leg to come in Morumbi Stadium in São Paulo next week. We'll have that for you on Eurosport as well. Archie McPherson will be bringing you coverage of the second leg. Valbert. Beaten to it this time, and no free kick given. The crowd didn't like that. It's a lovely touch from Cardozo. Now, is there an opportunity going to develop for them now? This is Bacedas, looks for the return, but great play from Valbert again, and he looks for and gets the return. His first touch was superb. Now, Cafu. Great crossfield ball, the ball of the match so far from Cafu. The shot took a deflection, and a wicked one as well. Claims for handball, you can forget those. This is Trotter with the clearance. Suddenly, a period of more open play. São Paulo trying to create something here. We haven't seen so much of them so far. As we approach the half-hour mark, it's still goalless. Pompey. That's a good turn from Flores. Great play from Flores. Now, has he got support? It's still Flores. And he was looking to try and find Azad. It just didn't work for him. Ule. He's lost out this time. Now, Vélez Sarsfield looking to try and create just that little bit more. Some clear-cut opportunities would be nice. Bacedas. Pompey. Little flick header. It's always going wide. Nice idea. And more creative, certainly. Well, Pompey here floating the cross in, and it was a glancing header. Drifted wide. Kept in play just by Azad. I don't know whether it was a worthy cause. Andre, clever play from him. This is Axel. 1 or 2 passes not going to feed at the moment. Now we're 14 minutes to half-time. Oh, such class from Vitor, formerly with Real Madrid, a real prospect. Didn't settle so well in Spain, but is an outstanding player. Been in the shadows of Cafu in many ways, but still young enough to develop into a great player in his own right. This is Flores. And the first chance from Junior Biano, the second one was even better. Away come São Paulo. It's a very late challenge indeed on Valbert, and not surprisingly a booking. Well, Valbert's gone down, and really there could be no complaints over that one. Just stuck his leg out, the captain. And so the third yellow card. Trotter goes into the book and joins colleague Marcelo Gomez and also Euler of São Paulo. Now, will Cafu be involved? Will Junior Biano be involved? They've got plenty of players who can strike free kicks, but again they've wasted another one. Vitor. And again, Vitor for São Paulo. Good play from Flores. Might build himself up for a shot. He's taken a bit of deflection and the drive goes over. But once again, Flores had the initial opportunity, and Azad had the second chance. Flores and Azad was onside, and he snapshot. .11 minutes to go in the first half of the first leg of the final of the Copa Libertadores between Vélez Sarsfield and São Paulo. No goals so far. It's been the Argentine side, the home team, Vélez Sarsfield, who've had more of the chances. Remember, it's a two-legged final, so São Paulo would clearly settle for a draw to take back to Brazil next week, where they look to win the title for the 3rd year in a row. Pompey, and plays the ball in. Basualdo, now a chance, and a goal, it's Hazard! The opening goal after 36 minutes. And it's Vélez Sarsfield who've taken the lead. A clinical finish from Hazard. No emotion, but I'm sure deep down, real delight for Carlos Bianchi. Well, Basualdo had an opportunity, and Hazard, well, that's a great finish. Kept his nerve and drilled it home. It all started with Pompey. Basualdo came in, and then the finish from Hazard. Vélez Sarsfield have the lead, and we've got, I make it 9 minutes to go to half-time. Hazard, who has Arabian parents, has scored the opening goal here. And it's the home supporters who have come to life again after a quiet period in the match. Vélez Sarsfield have taken the lead. Carlos Bianchi, no emotion, but surely delighted by that. Well-worked move on the left-hand side. Now, last week, they struck twice quickly. How they could do with a second to take to the hostile atmosphere that they're certain to face in São Paulo. Well, it seems too long for Argentina to have had to wait for a Copa Libertadores triumph. River Plate's in 86 to last, and their supporters are beginning to believe this could be a triumph for Vélez Sarsfield. When you think that there are two huge clubs in the city, Boca Juniors and River Plate, it's a great credit to Vélez Sarsfield. We have a free kick now, and it's well worked as well. Pompey trying to get in and illegally involved with Vitor. A lot of friction, as one would expect, between rivals from Argentina and Brazil. Hasn't spilt over yet, and despite the fact there have been 3 bookings, it's not been the most vicious encounter I've seen. Good cover challenge coming in from Gilmar. And he'll want to go back to Tokyo because he played in the team that beat Milan. Now, Hazard is the man, but it's Pompey floats it in. Hazard trying to get involved, but Zetti there to the rescue. 7 minutes to half-time. And Telly Santana must be nervous deep down. Great ball inside and another opportunity. Pompey! Well, Flores found him. And Pompey wins the corner, number 6 of the first half. And São Paulo have managed just one. So, corner then. And again, Pompey to take it. 9 is Hazard. Goes the near post is Trotter, and that seems to be the tactic. And it's just kept in. Hazard might have been better letting that drift out for another corner. But here's Bacedas. And another important challenge. Out of position. But Ulla coming across. Oh, that was late. Well, Cardoza made no attempt to play the ball there, and I think he was very lucky not to go into the book along with Trotter, Gomez and Ulla. Flores. And battling run there from Flores, but São Paulo have kept their nerve. It's Bacedas. Cardoza. Bacedas again. And again, Bacedas. Good run from Bacedas. Here's the left winger, Cardoza. Wins the throw. Carlos Bianchi wanting more from his side. 5 minutes to half-time. That's a good move that broke down at the last opportunity. Pompey goes in. This is still Pompey. And it's a corner kick. Corner number 7 of a fine 45 minutes for Vélez Sarsfield. So again, the big men coming up. Anxious times this for São Paulo, the world champions. Corner floated in, it's only punched away. Played back in. Zandona couldn't keep it in. Cafu with the throw. Free kick to São Paulo. Well, Vélez Sarsfield trying to come on the break again now. And this is Pompey. And it was a good turn. And Hazard, who'd been released, so nearly had the opportunity. Well, Vitor fouled, and São Paulo try and break. And we've seen very little of the world champions in this first half in an attacking form. Very little indeed, in fact. This is Pompey for Vélez Sarsfield. Kept in play by Vitor. And that's late. Bacedas gets a yellow card for his foul on Axel. So the third Vélez Sarsfield player in the book. And Axel chopped down. Vitor. And Pompey lost out there. Axel trying to spread the play and make it. We've got just over a minute to half-time. And so far, Vélez Sarsfield have the lead by a goal to nil. Ule. That's much better. A confirmation of the score so far as we come towards the end of what's been a fascinating first 45 minutes. Carlos Bianchi, the coach of Vélez Sarsfield. Well, must be a nervous man, because this is such a big prize in South American club football. They don't come any bigger. And you can see, as we've moved into stoppage time now, it's Vélez Sarsfield who gained the advantage from the first quarter of this Copa Libertadores final. 31st of August in São Paulo, the second leg. Well, the referee from Colombia encouraging the home side to get on with play. The ball was lost in that stand opposite us, and it's a throw-in to Vélez Sarsfield. Claims for handball, rejected. And Acedas. Cardozo. Basualdo. That was Acedas. And there goes the half-time whistle. He allowed a couple of minutes, but there had been one or two little pieces of injury time that justified that. But it's Vélez Sarsfield who have the lead against São Paulo then at half-time in the first leg of the Copa Libertadores final. The goal coming after 36 minutes and a fine finish. Players out then for the start of the second half. Vélez Sarsfield in the white and São Paulo, the world champions from Brazil. It's 1-0 to the home team from Argentina at half-time as we are about to get underway in this second half. São Paulo playing from right to left, and they'll be hoping to try and pull a goal back, or at least not make the deficit anymore, with a home match to come next week. Jose Torres from Colombia signals the start of the second half then. Vélez Sarsfield and São Paulo, the first leg of the Copa Libertadores final. And we have had a change. Vélez Sarsfield have brought on Fabian Fernandez, number 19. And the cross comes in, it's danger. Early danger for Zeti. Basualdo, still Basualdo. He tried to be very clever. Well, Omar Azad, the man who scored the goal after 36 minutes. The only goal of the game so far. Bazedas. And wriggling with Cafu. Well played. This is Cafu. São Paulo try and find something. Their attacking play was almost non-existent in that first half. Flores. And still Flores, good cross there. He got outside Valbert. It's a dangerous situation. Muller. And this is Muller. Tried to be cute with the ball in, but it never really worked. He had no runners for him. Cardoza offside. The flag went up immediately. Some of the home supporters in a capacity 49,500 crowd didn't enjoy that decision. But I think they're reasonably happy with the way things are going so far for their side. Junior Biano. No foul. Vélez Sarsfield now trying to create something again. Again, no foul. The referees in this part of the world certainly far more lenient. I can think of many who would have pulled up the Brazilian for the challenge there on Azad. As, once again, there's a slight delay as the ball is returned to the Brazilian player, Valbert. Axel. Valbert. Did well, Valbert exchanging passes, still Valbert! Well, for a moment I thought he was going to get all the way through. It's a corner, Muller's gone over. And anxious moments for Vélez Sarsfield. Just that spark from Albert. So Paulinho to take the corner for São Paulo, the world champions. Only their second, he floats it in. And it's a free kick to Vélez Sarsfield. And a bit of breathing space there after São Paulo showed a rare moment of attacking. Basualdo. And again, the German there, he's adapted very well indeed to the Vélez Sarsfield style of play. Play held up for the moment. And Azad is the player down. And he just seemed to get caught there. Feeling the back of his head. Buller. He was coming in for the challenge, and in the end, Zandoda had no worries because the challenge never materialised. Axel with the header away. Sotomayor, well, we've not seen so much of him, and that's an indication of how little São Paulo have produced in this match. As away goes Pazedas. And it's still in play. And Euler. Those two have had a tremendous clash. And Pazedas has come out the better of it. And so Pazedas and Basualdo. And it is Basualdo who's going to take this free kick. Zetti realises the importance of making sure he doesn't concede another goal as Basualdo floats it in, but again some pushing, and this time it's a free kick the way of São Paulo. And no whistle this time, which is slightly surprising, as away goes Junior Biano. Long deep cross. Muller. Touched on by Andre. Well, the home fans don't like it. Ball inside the penalty area. And away comes Pazedas. This is Flores, beaten to it. Good spell this for São Paulo. They're denying Vélez Sarsfield so much. Flores, it's a fine run, still Flores. He fell, there was no question of an illegal challenge there. And this is a great run, was it a penalty? Pompey went down. I think he looked for it. Well, Vélez Sarsfield has suddenly picked up and trying to carve something out of the opportunity. This is Pompey again. Support from Cardozo. Pompey still going. Corner. Well, there's plenty of excitement. And Vitor goes up to mastermind his defence this time. Vélez Sarsfield creating some openings here in the second half that must be worrying Telly Santana. He's desperate his side don't concede a second, because that would make the second leg very tough. At 1-0, it's a very even match. If São Paulo were to sneak an equaliser, then they would become favourites. So there's still plenty to play for here in the second half. Here's a substitution now. Juninho is the player who's warming up, and it looks like Palinha's going off. So Palinha who is a Brazilian international but wasn't in the World Cup squad, leaves the field disappointed, I'm sure, with his contribution. Juninho comes on, and he'll be trying to create something for São Paulo here, who haven't really got into the game. Andre wins the throw. I can't remember Chilavert having to make a save, and I'm sure that Telly Santana is well aware of that. When it's played in the second half, it's still Vélez Sarsfield leading by 1-0. And good cover challenge coming in there from Basualdo. Had an excellent match. Bacedas for Vélez Sarsfield. Basualdo. This time given away. And some moans and groans from the home supporters. This is a great weaving run. Andre. Bacedas. Azad. It's overhit. Well, Azad hoping to get on the end of that one. And there is Carlos Bianchi. Clearance by Vitor. Vélez Sarsfield have again created the better opportunities in this second half. And here they come forward once again. This is a fine run from Flores. Flores still going. Well, he tried too much. Maybe being a little greedy there, but it was a tremendous run. Well, the atmosphere in the ground is what of almost party time from the Vélez Sarsfield supporters, but I'm sure it would reach fever pitch if they could get themselves a second goal, because 1-0 would obviously give them victory, but it might not be enough to give them the cup in total, because they've still got the second leg to come next week in Brazil. Here's Cafu. And we've not seen as much of him as I'm sure his manager would have wanted, playing in a much more attacking role this evening. Here's Gilmar. Now that's a bit more like it. Junior Biano. And again, nobody in the centre. An illegal push and a free kick to Vélez Sarsfield. Confirmation that Vélez Sarsfield leads São Paulo by 1-0 then. In the Copa Libertadores final. Here's Azad, the scorer. Now drifting inside, that's a fine cross. Well, there were two coming in. And Azad so close to turning to be provider. This is Cafu for São Paulo. And he's racing away down the far side, but unable to make inroads. The world champions trying to create something else. There's another overlap here. It was Junior Biano's cross. Muller deciding to leave it. And a drive from outside the area goes wide. It's Vélez Sarsfield 1, São Paulo 0 in the Copa Libertadores first leg. Vélez Sarsfield of Argentina still leading São Paulo of Brazil, the world champions, by 1-0 in the Copa Libertadores final first leg. Second leg played in Brazil on the 31st of August. Ultimate First will be bringing you coverage of that on Eurosport next week. Here's Andre for São Paulo. Oh, that was a sloppy pass. And picked up immediately by Basualdo. Now, the brakes on here for Azad. Little floated cross in. Bacedas. And support here from Cardozo. He's done well. Pompey, it's drifted out of play. We haven't created many clear-cut openings, Vélez Sarsfield, but they have had much more possession, and there's no doubt that Zetti has been the busier of the two keepers. Well, it didn't look to be too much wrong with Zandona's chance to be. The shot comes in. Well, that's the first time that Chilavert has actually had to make a save, and it was a half chance more than anything else. But a warning. It was from outside the penalty area. It was a long-range effort. And just for a moment, São Paulo threatened. Pompeido for Vélez Sarsfield. Axel. Still Axel. Support from Vitor. Still Axel. And he's one inside. Throw in. Vitor takes it. But they have been disappointing for me so far, São Paulo. Bazedas. And still Bazedas. It's a good run. He's gone outside Vitor this time. Now a bit of support coming in. Fernandez. Well, the substitute with the cross was hit with power, but didn't really develop into anything. Now Vélez Sarsfield come forward again, and this time the shot's high and over the bar. Cardozo, who's played pretty well on that left-hand side, drilling this one over. Really 2-3 yards over. I'm not going to bother Zeti too much, but well worth the try for sure. Free kick to São Paulo. Quickly taken by Valverde. Axel. Well, midway through the second half in the Copa Libertadores final first leg in Buenos Aires, Vélez Sarsfield of Argentina still lead São Paulo of Brazil, the defending champions, and with us for the last 2 years by a 1-0. That goal coming from Azad after 36 minutes. Second leg next week. Remember, in the Copa Libertadores, it's away goals that do not count double, so a 1-0 or a 2-1 victory next week would take the match to penalties. Both the semi-finals ended that way. So still plenty of time for São Paulo, and arguably they'll look at a 1-0 defeat as not being a bad result. Vélez Sarsfield, though, they just need to avoid defeat to come away with the trophy and bring it back to Argentina for the first time since 1986, when River Plate were the champions. Here's Zandona, and he'll get the return or not. No, the Brazilians pick up possession with Cafu, and again Cafu this time spread out wide. São Paulo desperate to try and make sure they play the second leg on level terms. Cafu for his Junior Bianco, came from Flamenco. Andre, this is Muller, good spell, and Andre goes on the run, puts in a little cross in. Well, for the first time there, they played like world champions. They kept possession, they passed in symmetrical fashion, but it didn't last long. And Telly Santana will know his side can produce so much better than this. Osvaldo went in. Now, on the break, it's an important challenge for the captain Trotter, and he did well, but he didn't find the clearance, and in the end it's Juninho, the substitute, who came across, and it's a throw-in for São Paulo, which is quickly taken. Crowd didn't like that decision, but I don't think there can really have been any doubt. Tele Santana trying to implore his side to force an equaliser. Now one of the target men's. Flores brought down now. Looks like Flores is going to come off. And this is Fabian Fernandez. So Flores, who scored last week, an important goal it was, but gave them a place in this final, replaced by Fabian Fernandez. And he came on last week and replaced Azad. Well, he's giving his reaction to the Argentine television network. No foul. This time there is, though. And Vélez Sarsfield have a little bit of breathing space now, and an opportunity maybe to try and create a second goal. Zeti realising the urgency. Don't think any cards being brought out by Jose Torres. But it's a free kick nevertheless. Now, Zandola looking like he's wanting to try and take a strike himself. He's number 11, and it is Zandola, and that was a pitiful effort, really. Never seemed to be going anywhere near the target. Well, that was even worse. That was a very poor free kick that really sent the initiative back with Vélez Sarsfield. They gained a few yards. Zandona. Acedas comes in. That's a free kick for the chance by Trotter, and he's already got into the box, so he'll have to be very careful, the captain. Of course, it would be a bitter blow to him if he got sent off, because he's the man who could yet go up to take the trophy if Vélez Sarsfield hold on to this lead for the remainder of this game, and of course the whole of the match next week in São Paulo. The cross comes in, it's a deep one, but it's easy for Chilavert, and that's the ambitious long goal kick when you've only got Paswaldo up front. There were 3 São Paulo players to beat, and he nearly got away with it. Now the flag stays down, he's played on in the centre, and Fernandez was brought down. So it's Vélez Sarsfield who are finishing the stronger at the moment. And another good opportunity from the set piece here. Well, Basualdo will mastermind it. Trotter's come up. Azad's also in the centre. And it's drilled in. Well, this time Zandona, he didn't really get the power behind it, but it was a clever idea. Well, Basualdo there left it and Zandona took it. And it so nearly caught out Zeti, but it didn't have the power. Bazedas. That's a good run, little cross. Well, that was a fine run. And when the cross came in, there was just nobody apart from Fernandez. He was right on the goal line and behind Zeti, who could get on the end of it. Wonder what the thoughts of Carlos Bianchi are. Taking a one-goal lead will be a very nerve-wracking occasion, I'm sure. Just have the psychological advantage, but really a second could so much turn the tide towards Vélez Sarsfield. And this is the time to take advantage, because it will be very hostile in Brazil next week. Pompey then with the corner. Fernandez is one to aim at, and even the captain Trotter came up. And São Paulo haven't got it away decisively. Bacedas looks for and finds Cardoza. Cardoza puts an early ball in. Still Cardoza, if he can get there. No. He did so illegally. Free kick to São Paulo. Well, Cardoza's had an excellent match. Vélez Sarsfield still leading then by 1-0 in the Copa Libertadores final first leg. And that's a free kick against Muller. He was holding Zandona. Claims his innocence, but a free kick's been given. And the header properly cleared. São Paulo wanting to take this quickly, and just a friendly gesture, I think, there. But very poor. Zandona looks for the return, but Sotomayor. Down goes Azad. It's become a little bit scrappy in the closing stages. São Paulo trying to get themselves back in the game, trailing by 1-0 in this first leg. Now, a little bit of space. Fernandez, he was so unlucky. Vélez Sarsfield have the advantage, and there you can see the injury to Azad, how it was caused. And the flag goes up, offside against Junior Biano. And it was a good decision He was a couple of yards offside. No arguments. As up gets the hero of the night for Vélez Sarsfield, Azad, whose goal separates the two sides at the moment after 36 minutes. Eight minutes to go then. Easy for Zetti. Andre. Well, the home fans just wondering whether this man might come on. It looks like Claudio Hussein is about to be brought into the frame. And it's Azad who's going off. So, another substitution for Vélez Sarsfield. It's Claudio Hussein who comes on, and Azad is the player who comes off, the goal scorer. And at the injury that was sustained when he fell awkwardly. And Fernandez, well, he crept in almost unnoticed into the São Paulo penalty area and was very close there. It was his pace that got him away from his marker, and that was a half chance. Time running out then for São Paulo, the world champions, to try and get themselves back onto level terms in this first leg. Second leg to come in the Morumbi Stadium in São Paulo on the 31st of August. And certainly if the score stays the same, even if there's one more goal in these last few minutes, we're going to have an exciting climax to the Copa Libertadores. In comes the cross, and not properly cleared. São Paulo, one last chance maybe for them. Out comes Schiller there to make things safe. Still the danger not averted. Acedas. And this is Claudio Hussein. He couldn't keep it in. And he's wasted an extra few seconds. And São Paulo, who have been a big disappointment for me, and I'm sure for a lot of the neutrals, as world champions, facing a team who currently lie third from bottom in the Argentine league, but have no fears of relegation, as their system in Argentina is one over a 3-year period for the relegation, so the pressure will be on them much more next season. But they've reached the Copa Libertadores and virtually given all their efforts towards this competition. It's paid off so far. And Vélez Sarsfield still lead then as Muller comes away in the last few minutes. That's a fine ball inside from Muller, and the drive, and that's only the second chance of the whole 90 minutes. Clear strike on goal, but São Paulo have managed to muster. Muller the provider here, and Müller with the finish. As it came down to him, well, he struck it okay. And away comes Basualdo. Now there's a chance here. Basualdo! Good save! Well, he had to do that, Zeti. Otherwise, he could well have found his side 2 goals behind. Basualdo so close. Arguably the clearest opportunity of the second half, and it was drilled. Oh, that's a fine save. Here's Zeti's view. Oh, it was desperately close. Claudio Hussein waits. So does Trotter, the captain. And it's not properly cleared. It's Vélez Sarsfield who are finishing the stronger. Gomez floats it in. Not properly cleared. Here's Trotter, the captain. And again, Trotter. He might try a shot himself, and he wins another corner. So grandstand finish then for Vélez Sarsfield. Led by captain Roberto Trotter. Formerly played for Estudiantes. Very mature player for only 25. Pompey then. This time it's a deeper corner, and this time Zeti makes a fine catch. Under pressure, never easy for the keepers. Basualdo. Juninho, a substitute, poor ball in. And Vélez Sarsfield at the moment look to have done enough to earn the right to play in Brazil with a 1-goal advantage. Well, it couldn't be tighter. If the scoreline stays the same in the next couple of minutes or so, we're going to have a great contest. And Junior Viado, Vitor, they're all potentially coming up now for this. A last gasp effort, Muller wanting to get involved. It's not a sensible thing to do in the closing stages. Well, a free kick here, and it was a lunging challenge. Very dangerous situation. There's plenty of players who are well capable from this sort of range. Into stoppage time then. And a last chance for São Paulo to bring themselves back to level terms. Anxious moments for the home fans. And for Carlos Bianchi, the coach. Very dangerous situation, this. Into stoppage time. Telly Santana looks on. He knows this is a chance. They've rehearsed it in training, I would think, many times. Junio could be the man, the substitute. And he does. He strikes it into the wall. And the flag goes up for offside. Was that the last chance? Well, the substitute took it, and the wall did its job. although it was hardly 10 yards away. And the flag went up immediately. Well, there goes the final whistle, and Vélez Sarsfield, the underdogs, have a 1-goal lead to take to São Paulo next week for the second leg and decisive match in the 1994 Copa Libertadores final. The only goal of the game coming after 36 minutes through Azad, and it couldn't be more tightly balanced when the two teams return to the fray in the Morumbi Stadium in São Paulo. We'll have coverage with Archie McPherson of the second leg of the final, which Vélez Sarsfield have a 1-goal advantage over São Paulo, with the second match taking place in Brazil. Hope you've enjoyed the first leg from Buenos Aires in Argentina. It's Vélez Sarsfield 1, São Paulo 0, and the second leg to come on the 31st of August.